So Nick asks, can you talk a little bit about the development of Project M? What was the vision of the experiment, and did you have other ideas in mind for it?
I don't remember how the original conversation came up. So Steve Clover, one of the original developers of EverQuest, programmer, was right outside my cube. By this time, we had moved to a different part of the building, and man, I don't remember. I think this really kind of stems from GM events, right? So GM events, you have the ability to uh, become an NPC, right? So you would control the NPC, and this is how a lot of GM events would work. Um, and so I think from that we thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if we had an alternate advantage? I mean, this was meant to be player progression, where you could level up specific NPCs through the normal environment, and you would unlock like level tiers. So basically, you would start in Kinos and you would spawn as a rat. And then if you got the rat to like level 4 or 5, then you would progress to the next to Kino Hills, where you could be a wolf. And then if you manage to get the wolf to a couple more levels, then you can proceed to the next tier. And it kind of worked like that. I think what we ended up doing was ended up being based on your level, unlocked like tiers of monsters. And I remember one of the ones that I did just for the fun of it was I became a madman in I think South Row, and I was a wizard, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun. And the first thing I do is I run over to where the crocs are, and I see a druid, and I root him, and he dies, and I'm like, uh-oh, this is gonna cause problems. Um, and so I think at some point we had to start restricting what you could spawn as, because as a caster you would have unlimited mana, right? So the mana, you actually became the NPC, so you had all his abilities and stats. And anyone who's played knows that NPCs have like an insane amount of mana, and so you could just sit there as a monster NPC and just cast forever.
I remembered as a GM, yeah, we'd make a new character of the appropriate class of the monster that we're going to be, and then we just did that little. I think it was really just like a transform.
Yeah, it was like become NPC or something like that.
Yeah, um, but yeah, the concept for Project M was super cool, and it seemed like it was just a spare time sort of passion project at the time.
Yeah, I don't know how we were allowed to work on it, considering what was going on at Buckland at the time in terms of the amount of work. But I think we caught the eye of Smed and Jeff and Brad, and even Bill at the time, Bill Trost, and they're like, "Oh, this is amazing! This is like, no one's ever done this before," and it was definitely something that was unique to EverQuest, and it
Yeah,
felt like more of a role playing, D&D style feature.
yeah. In the way I remember it, though, it was like I know there was a ton going on, more than should have been going on, really. Like it was a crazy process, but I also I got the sense, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I got the sense that it was kind of like, hey, with all the effort going into all this shit trying to get it done, we need, or let me do this differently. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you need to let me do this thing that's fun every once in a while, just so I can decompress and not murder everybody.
Yeah, and I think we had gotten like a proof of concept done pretty quickly, uh, like in our spare time,
Yeah.
and so that allowed us to like actually spend work time on it.
And what about gyms? Because I couldn't remember if that was you or Steve, or you and Steve, or somebody else.
What was it?
Gyms?
Oh, I totally forgot about that. That was totally Steve Clover. That was
Okay.
100% him. Um, is that still in game?
I don't think so. Is it?
Type it. Yeah, see if it's still in game.
Oh my god. It's still in game.
I had totally forgotten about that. Now you can just play this on stream all day.
Yeah. All right. So forget Stream Raiders. I'll just sit and play gyms. All right. Done. Otherwise I'll be too distracted. We'll all be distracted. I didn't even try it. That's crazy I didn't try it. All right, so there it is.
Yeah. So Steve did that in his spare time. That was, like I said, that whole not going insane type thing. That was probably why he did that.
Yeah. How big was so do you remember how big the team was during that